Hey guys, it's Anch back with another Tech Talk. Alright, hear me out real quick. Possibly in a few years, you might not be able to watch this video the way you are right now. No, I'm for real, because screens might not even exist. Phones, laptops, PCs, all gone. Why? Because everything you use, from YouTube to Spotify to even Fortnite, will just be floating around you. You won't be looking at a screen, you'd be looking through one. And they're called spatial operating systems, which turn your room, your school, your entire world into your new interface through automated reality glasses or virtual headsets. Okay, I need to clarify some things before we go further. Now here's something a lot of people don't realize. When you're wearing one of these glasses, you're not actually seeing the real world. Like when you're looking through sunglasses. What you're seeing is a real-time video feed of your surroundings, captured by cameras on the outside of the headset. And then they're projected onto the screens inside, in front of your eyes. And that's called a pass-through video. But on something like the Vision Pro or Quest 3, it looks almost like you're not wearing anything at all, because of full color, low latency, and super crisp visuals. Let me throw out some big names so we're all familiar with what exactly I'm talking about. First off, we've got Apple's Vision Pro. I mean, what they've built is insane. It's a high-end, precise headset that's best for an immersive workspace, but it will cost you a lot. Another big name is Meta's Quest 3. This one's not as sharp, but way more fun and social and best for games in VR. But while these products are very bulky, my personal favorite leader in this game, and also an underrated one, is XRS Air 2. I mean, these are just portable glasses that can fit in your own pocket. It doesn't map your room, but it gives you a floating 200-inch display projection from just such small, tiny lenses. That's insane, right? I mean, I'd for sure watch a movie while listening to a boring English lecture. Well, what about the tech behind these systems? First up, the headset needs to know where you are, so it uses something called SLAM, which stands for simultaneous localization and mapping, meaning your headset is constantly scanning your environment with cameras, sensors, and sometimes radars, but for depth. And so it builds a 3D map of your room in real time, from the walls to the furniture to the doors, and places these digital objects realistically around you. Next, it needs to track you, your eyes, hands, and head through various infrared cameras, and rotation and movement. One thing I liked was how it uses foveated rendering. Here, it makes sure your eyes can only see a tiny spot in the middle of where you're looking, but everywhere else in your peripheral view is a blur. Why it does this? Well, it saves huge amounts of GPU power, allowing for higher frame rates and more complex scenes. And honestly, this is what makes Spatial OS feel so natural. You don't need a controller. Your body becomes the controller. You know, something I've always wondered about whenever I put these headsets on, it's how does the audio work? Well, instead of just playing sound through stereo speakers, Spatial OS uses directional audio rendering to make sounds appear to come from real positions in your room. So a FaceTime call to your left sounds like it's actually coming from your left. And how does this work? Well, to answer that question, it uses head tracking and ear position modeling. And basically this allows for speakers to fire sound waves at angles in your room with the intention that they would bounce off and land into your ears from specific paths. That's just insane to think about. Like, what's the math needed to correctly get the right coordinates of the wave? To make all this work without lag, companies are building custom hardware. Right now, Apple has the M2 chip for compute and an R1 chip just to handle spatial data like eye movement, motion, and camera input. Meta uses the Snapdragon XR2 chip in Quest 3. These chips handle a ton of data in real time. Your motion, your surroundings, even sound direction. And that's just a lot of data. If the headset even lags by a few milliseconds, your brain notices. Things start to feel off. But that's why Apple split it into two chips. So one can handle the real world, while the other runs your apps without slowing down. And that's honestly where the balance should be. This is insane stuff, but it's really creepy. Have you guys ever seen Ready Player One? It's about this future where the real world sucks, so everyone just escapes into this massive virtual universe called the Oasis and basically live in that world. And honestly, that movie doesn't feel that far off anymore. I mean, look, I love tech, clearly. But this isn't just a cooler screen or a faster chip. This is a new way of living. And that's exciting, but also something we really need to think through. We're talking about a future where your entire environment is shaped by code, where your world becomes customizable, programmable, maybe even addictive. That's powerful and dangerous, depending on how we use it. But here's where I'm optimistic. This tech can make life better. It can make education more immersive, productivity more seamless, and creativity totally limitless. It's not just about escaping reality. It's about reimagining how we interact with it. This type of tech has insane potential, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. We're just scratching the surface right now, and it's going to really roll out in waves over many, many years. First, I feel like it'll be creators or developers who love early tech and want to try it out. Then I think schools, businesses, and remote workers will catch on. And finally, everyday use. But now imagine combining this with AI, like a virtual assistant that walks with you, a study tutor who appears next to your textbook, a personal trainer who shows up in your room and actually sees your form and gives you feedback. The possibilities of this type of tech are endless, but we should just remember to use it to enhance our lives, not escape them. If the Oasis were to be real tomorrow, would you live in it, or would you still choose the real world like me? Drop your thoughts below, and if you made it this far, you better hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.